Hey Dadpreneurs, Adam Dix here, and I want to show you how to change your life in the next 10 minutes. Now, I know that title sounds a bit far-fetched, maybe a little bit clickbaity, and I wouldn't have believed it a couple days ago. However, I want to give a little backstory, a little context before I dive in. So if there's one thing I'm consistent in is actually going to the gym, surprisingly. You can't really tell, but I am very consistent with that. I'm coming up on a couple weeks here. I'll be at 1 year. I go consistently 4 to 5 times a week, and I'm really, really good at that. I get upset with myself if I don't go 5 times. Sometimes I go twice on Sunday to make up for it, to meet my weekly quota. Anyways, a lot of times I wear my Michigan apparel, showing off, representing the state of Michigan. And about 6 months ago, I had a Michigan t-shirt on, and an older gentleman at the gym stopped me and chatted with me. He is from Michigan, moved out to Las Vegas in 1999, and we kind of developed a little bit of a friendship. Sorry about that. I had my email open and my Google Voice phone was ringing, so I apologize for that. Anyway, so we kind of developed a little bit of a friendship, you know. I see him Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when he's in there, and we would just kind of chit-chat about life and about Michigan and about the gym and life, basically. And so we started talking, and we'd talk every once or twice a week, and a couple weeks ago, we started chatting, and he's a pilot. He had told me about this event they were doing in June. Months ago, he told me about this. And so we were chatting a few weeks ago, and he told me that he couldn't make it to the event. His wife had fallen in the shower, and she broke her arm, and I think broke a rib, cracked a rib, something along those lines. I was like, holy shit, you know? So he started telling me the story and got into it. His wife has dementia, and they went to all these doctors out here. They went to this brain clinic down in downtown Las Vegas, and they explained that she was taking way too much medication over the years that was just kind of destroying her brain. Long story short, he gets into his wife passed away in August. I was blown away by this. I was so sad. I did not expect that's where the story was going. And so I asked how old she was. She was 81. He's also 81, and he said my birthday's in a few weeks. And then we got talking last Wednesday, I think it was. Yes, last Wednesday. And his birthday was a couple days ago on Tuesday. So last Wednesday I said, we started talking, and he had mentioned that his birthday was coming up next week. So on Friday at the gym, I saw him. As I was leaving, I reached out and I said, hey, what are you doing for your birthday? And he said, oh, nothing. You know, he doesn't have any family here. His kids, one's in Chicago, one's in Washington State, and one is in Michigan. And no family out here. No, not really nothing. His wife of 30 years just passed away. And so I said, how about I take you to dinner? And he was shocked by that. We never hung out outside of the gym or anything like that. And so we made plans. I called him Monday, confirmed the plans, and made some arrangements. I went over to his house on Tuesday evening and picked him up, and he wanted to go to the Olive Garden, so we went to Olive Garden, and it was awesome. It was just, his name's Ralph. Ralph and I had dinner, and after I finished dinner, I ran to the bathroom. This was an idea my mom gave me. And besides that, let me go back a little bit. He just told stories. He told me about all kinds of stories about working for Chrysler as a mechanical engineer in the 60s, how he was a search and rescue pilot up in northern Nevada. He told me stories about his second wife, who passed away in the early 80s. He told me stories about his recent wife, who, like I said, just passed away in August of 30 years, told me stories about his kids. He told me all kinds of stories, and the attention to detail was absolutely amazing. Some of these stories were from the 60s, and it sounded like he was recalling something from just a week or two ago. It was really, really crazy. He remembered the conversations, what the people looked like, what they said, things like that, and it was just really, really cool. He talked. I listened. He's 82, I'm 37. What is it? 45. He's got 45 years on me. He's got a lot of wisdom to share. So I just soaked it all in. And like I said, so after I finished dinner, I ran to go to the bathroom, an idea my mom gave me. I flagged down the waiter and said, hey, we got a birthday at the dinner table. And so I went back to the table, and the waiter came over with 2 other waiters, and then myself, and then the 3 other waiters. We all sang happy birthday. They had like a little piece of chocolate cake with a candle in it. Ralph was shocked by this. It was so cool. Let me pull up an image here. So here's a picture right here of Ralph as we're singing him happy birthday. He was shocked by this. It was so cool. So anyways, and that was really cool. So I shared this story on Facebook yesterday, and people went fucking crazy. It was so cool to see how many people were like, that was so nice of you, blah, 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 blah. And then I was on Quora, another website that I love where you answer questions. And I came across this question where I'll show you, how can I change my life within the next 10 minutes? Now, I wouldn't think you could change your life in 10 minutes. If I would have answered this question 48 hours ago, as you can see, I answered it 18 hours ago. If I would have answered this question 48 hours ago, I would have said you can't. But this experience with Ralph showed me that you absolutely can in 10 minutes. And like I said, as you can see in the question, or the answer was do something for a stranger. And that's exactly what I did. And obviously I went out to dinner. It took a few hours. However, you can do something very, very simple for a stranger. Even saying hi, holding the door open. And what I have found is when you do that, it makes you feel damn good. And it's almost like a drug where you want to do more of it and more of it and more of it. And maybe bigger things, like I said, holding the door open, smiling, starting up a conversation. The small things, but then you just build on that from there. And like I said, it really gets addicting. It really feels good. And my friend Audrey had a great quote the other day that she told me. You know what? I closed it out. She said, when you're going through your challenges, the best way to overcome them is to do things for others. And I find that to be incredibly true. And going through a tough breakup after 8 years, I've talked about it on the channel before, 6 weeks ago, being a single dad of 2 little kids, we're splitting the kids 50-50. It's not as easy as you'd think it is. It's difficult, not just dealing with the other person, but it's difficult missing the kids for 50% of the week. That part's really fucking hard. So I'm going through a lot of challenges right now. We put our cat down of 15 years. Got a flat tire the other day, the same day that, we had to put the cat down. It's just like one thing after another, it seems. So that's why, that's not why I did it. It just kind of all came together, Shortly after the cat died, I had this opportunity to ask Ralph out like on a date, take him out for his birthday. So that's just what I did. So I took the story from Facebook and I saw this question on Quora and I posted the answer. I basically just copied and pasted it. And the things kind of went kind of viral, it went crazy. I've answered a little over 100 questions on Quora, and I don't know, like 300,000 people have viewed them. This question, this answer, I should say, this thing has went crazy. This has more views than any other answer I've had, and so I just kind of tell the story. I'll have a link down in the comments if you want to, or in the description, if you want to read it. And as you can see here, 78,000 people viewed it and 9,000 upvotes. So what an upvote is people like. Basically, it's a like. People read the story, they like it, they upvote it, and then it kind of ranks up in Quora, kind of like the Google search engines. 9,000 upvotes is mind-blowing. My next best answer was about 2,000. And from I read a Jordan Peterson book says 0.001% of all Quora answers get over 2,000 upvotes. So this thing, like I said, had a mind of its own. But it's the comments, and I had this guilt, a bit of guilt since I've posted this. I don't know. It's just an internal thing, but I kind of just want to share my truth, what I'm going through with it. It's cool to see. However, I feel like guilty. Like maybe I should have kept that to myself. Maybe I should not brag about it. And Gary Vaynerchuk's got a good quote that I heard recently. He says, if it's the truth, it's not bragging, in his opinion. I kind of like that. And it wasn't meant to brag. It was really meant to inspire, to share love, to share some positivity, to share optimism. There's so much bullshit out there in social media and with all politics and weather and whatever, your Aunt Susie or whatever. And just there's so much negativity. And I got such good feedback on Facebook and also Quora from people thanking me, So part of me feels a little bit guilty, or maybe I should have just kept it to myself, but then I read through these comments and read through the messages and read through the emails I've gotten the last 24 hours, and that makes me feel good. So I want to just kind of go through a few comments just to kind of inspire you to share your story, to share your truth. And you might think of it as bragging in a sense, and I kind of did do too. But then I read these little comments and I feel like a lot better. I'm not going to go through all of this. Let me kind of scroll through. There's a couple short ones. Simply beautiful. Expression on his and a friend like you. Both are priceless. Thank you for spreading so much love in the universe. Much needed. So this person's saying love is needed to be spread. So that makes me feel better. Maybe I am doing the right thing by talking about this, by being open about it. This is another longer answer, but I really, really liked it. He was expecting this profound answer to how to improve your life in the next 10 minutes. And as you can see, but the answer was so simple, so mundane. I didn't feel the earth shatter under my feet. I didn't experience an intellectual enlightenment. One human being reaching out to another was all. In pure kindness, compassion, in return was offered with sincere appreciation and friendship. All the finer attributes of humanity, or what being human was truly about. That was an amazing comment. One of the best things I've read on social media. After a stressful day, I opened Quora just to distract myself from the stress. I was blessed with your answer, and I'm filled with the positive energy sufficient to light up the entire street I live in. A few stories like these daily, and my faith in humanity is renewed. Thank you for being you. So a lot of people said faith in humanity restored, things like that. So like I said, if you want to change your life, do something for a stranger. And like I've said before, it's for selfish reasons. It makes me feel good to take Ralph out, and in turn, he feels good. And then I share the message, and I like getting comments like that. So I'm being selfish in a sense, but also I get those comments that saying, thanks for restoring humanity, thanks for spreading the love, thanks for inspiring me, motivating me, things like that. So it's kind of a weird thing, the selfish and the selflessness. I'm really kind of getting into that, but it just really cool to see. So like I said, I'm battling the should I take that answer down, because I kind of feel guilty. Like I said, should I maybe keep it to myself? But then I read those comments, and so the message here is you can change your life. Go do something nice for a stranger. Like I said, start small, spark up conversations. I go to Walmart every Saturday. I strike up a conversation every time with the cashier. I ask if it's busy, how's their day going, is their shift almost over? They're like shocked by it because most people don't fucking say a word to them, So, hey, if I'm going to be there for 90 to 120 seconds, I'm going to try to make the most of it and get a little conversation going. Sometimes it opens into other things as well, but most cashiers are pretty shocked by it. When I go to the gas station, I say the same thing. I have a few questions that I ask just about everybody, but it gets the conversation going. So that's the message. If you want to change your life in the next 10 minutes, the next 7 days, go do a random act of kindness for a stranger. Like I said, it can start small. Eventually you can take a guy like Ralph out to dinner for their birthday. So that's the message in this. Like I said, it's current. It's right now. I wanted to share the whole Quora thing, the feelings that I'm feeling, the kind of weird feelings of the guilt, a bit of guilt, but a bit of happiness reading through some of the comments and messages. So, hey, bit of a different video, more about on life and stuff like that, but that's what we talk about here on the channel. If you're into that stuff, hit that subscribe button down below. I will post up a little my little face right here. You can click subscribe. How can you change your life? Maybe you have some tips to share, some strategies on things you've implemented that have helped change your life. Share them in the comments below. I know it would help the community, and it would most certainly help myself. Thank you.